Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails through Daybreak, where we lost some quest, right? And now I think we wanted to look around on the second day in Basel. So let's do that. Researcher Callaghan. I'm from Le Mans, you see. It's a nation rich with lakes and gorges. Thus, fishing is a popular hobby there. I started early myself. I know I'm in denial. I know it's not healthy for me. But the truth hurts more. Right. The 2 floors, right? My store's been hit by this orbital instability business too, so I went ahead and double-checked our wiring. And as expected, our setup is perfectly fine. Something bigger going on in the city. Our manager's talking with HQ to try and get it fixed, but outside of that, there's nothing we can do.
Alrighty.
Julian? I'm not too familiar with Vern weapons myself. Interesting. I swung some Erebonian makes, and compared to those, these are much lighter and easier to carry. They just take out some of the bulk in exchange. I don't imagine they have stuff like the two-handers my grandfather used. Bit of a shame. Kid knows his stuff. Not every day you meet a two-hander specialist. From what I heard, Julian hails from a line of renowned Erebonian swordsmen. Certainly looks the part. There's something strange about him though. Can't put my finger on it. Incidentally, Wen made for the artisan district, right? Maybe she's thinking to buy Tita a souvenir or something? I feel like I owe her one as well. She was a huge help last year. Tita? That name rings a bell, but I can't place it. Oh. Yeah, Wen's friend from Libel. Workers everywhere have been grumbling about problems with their orbital equipment. I hope they get that fixed soon. It's been a headache for my husband too. He came into work and machines at his workshop just wouldn't work. The distribution network seems really unstable right now. I'm worried it might affect our tuning service. I did some digging and I can confirm it's not just us. The whole city is running into some issues. I contacted HQ about it, but they said they don't have a timetable. We might have to put them in the hot seat if this keeps up. So I was talking to the store manager a second ago, right? He said the latest consumer model orbital cameras can take videos too, like movie cameras do. I'm sure the quality is not as nice. Could I make concessions for consumer grade stuff? But man, what if I could make my own homemade movies? Can't believe you can just do that now. I'm hyped out of my mind. So like, Chignon won't move a rag. Julian went to go check out the weapon shop and he hasn't come back. Is it just me or am I the only one actually trying to study stuff here? And yes, what's your take? Well, who's to say? Jim was telling me that honesty is what girls like. That you gotta be yourself, you know? That makes a lot of sense. From this day forward, I'm gonna be the most honest guy you've ever seen. Huh? What are you doing here? What's for all the nuts and bolts? Oh, are you modding your car? Modding sounds so illegal. I'm just tuning it. I can't beat you with just being a better driver. I need a better car too. Well, you're not very good at tuning either, though. Remember when you tried to fix a radio that one time? Shut up, you said you wouldn't talk about that again. And besides, the Dad's workshop has been helping you with your car too, haven't they? It's only fair I get to work on mine. No? I don't mod my cars one bit. I thought I told you that. Wait, you don't? Then how do you... They just... Really just drive them that good? Yep. What's the point in buying a win when you can earn it instead? You're telling me I never stood a chance? All things equal, she still beats me? The guys in Dad's workshop have been teaching me about what parts do and how to mod stuff. It's really cool. But modding an RC car to be faster is kinda lame, so I keep it stock. I want to have an fair and square. I thought everybody else was modding their cars, but nope, it was just me all along. I mean, just how the heck does Miller drive a car like that with no mods at all? It doesn't make sense. Not a single eyewitness report either. Nobody in town saw a thing. Are we just grasping at straws here? I guess we can try the workshop area and the airport? I don't know. I guess Blanca's right. There's always a stone unturned. Let's go up and do another comp through. I wonder if Alvis has gotten any leads yet. We should meet back up soon.
It's so convenient nowadays.
I heard news of an incident at the Institute. The police were asking around for information, eyewitness reports. We have logs of everybody's Aerotram trips from their certification cards. We scan it to get on and off. But we couldn't find anything that might relate to the incident. I'm sorry we couldn't be of any help. Lucy is really cool. She's so calm and collected, and she's really good at what she does. She's like the opposite of me. I just go hopping from one odd job to another, but she landed her dream job already. Maybe I should take notes and figure out what I want to do. You know, maybe I can just start working at the pharmacy? I think I'm good terms with Lucy now. Maybe she can teach me. PM? I got in touch with Cindy for the first time in a while. God is almighty, it makes me sick to hear what the professor put her through. They said it was because she was the only woman in that lab, but that's no excuse at all. Her health really suffered because of it. Anyway, maybe I'll buy something from that drugstore as a little pick-me-up. My mentor, Professor Aurelie, told me about what happened at the Institute. I didn't want to believe the rumors, but you could see it written all over those poor victims' faces. They look terrible. As a pharmacist, I want to do whatever I can to help them recover. Those women especially.
Well...
I got this report from a main branch that one of their terminals was acting up. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I hope it's just a technical gremlin, not a serious problem. But any downtime at all is bad business and bad optics. Better get it back up and fast, or we lose more than just money. That was really nice. Got to see the Z1 exhibit and everything. Probably best we head on home now. Yeah, I'm fresh out of travel money now. I really owe my uncle for that. Oh wait, that reminds me. He told me to say hello to a friend of his at the factory. He said he's a manager there. Go figure, he's got friends in high places. Sure, why not? I know it's kind of just an errand, but man, the thought of meeting a factory manager has me psyched. Right? I'm gonna ask if you can watch him work. My uncle wanted me to run some errands for him in exchange for covering my travel costs. Get this, one of his old friends is a factory manager, and I get to meet him. You think I'll get to watch him work too? I'll have to ask my uncle. Surely he can pull some strings for his super cute niece. I've been seeing a bunch of cops around here since this morning. Way more than usual. Did something happen? You better be careful just in case. I'm hearing that the factory on the outskirts of town have been having power and comp troubles too. They're manufacturing our new model. It's supposed to go on sale in the spring. I hope they get that resolved soon, but it doesn't spread. We've got our own problems to iron out though. Our communications network got thrown out of whack here. I have a friend who works for a factory on the outskirts of town. Turns out their comms are all messed up too. I knew a lot of places got damaged, but I wasn't expecting that they'd get through to all the big factories and facilities too. The factories and the pavilion are constantly having their instruments checked. Our lights started flickering this morning and I'm not sure why. Surely the alarms are all going bad at once? We check them regularly. Have to lodge a ticket with the utility people. It's a city-wide problem. Basel is a hub city for many of the country's top manufacturers. The biggest names all have operations here. That's a big strain on the power grid, hence a massive orbital generator to keep it all afloat. It powers everything from manufacturing plants to research stations. Even the trains run on the generator.
Alrighty.
Never underestimate the burden.
About Professor Callaghan. If you learn of his whereabouts, please let us know. We haven't been able to reach him. He's been our company advisor for years and years, and now he's just gone. I can only hope that he's safe wherever he is. Indeed, this is likely the best compromise available. We should at least get the project off the ground. Well, frankly, I don't see what's in it for us. This is a big responsibility for little benefit down the river. That said, I've heard grumbling of a different project. I can try and pull some strings for you there. I appreciate it, but we should be fine. That project is a bit unique. Honestly, I don't know much about it myself. We don't know who's working on it, whatever it is. It's highly confidential. So it would seem. I'm not privy to any of that info myself either. Every company has its secrets, but it's rare to run into a project even more confidential than our own. What are they up to there? I'm sorry I can't go into more detail. This is a very strange project. I heard that they sponged all their international engineers from the project too. Now that piques my interest. I don't have any inroads there though. I can't brute force my way into their war room. Hey.
I see.
Well, looks like you hit the nail on the head. This whole thing is linked to the Mafia. How do you know it? Freaking guild. You'll stick your nose in every damn corner, I swear. Don't be salty about it, but that's just what their comm network gets them. Yeah, I think it could be really useful for us too, if we just work together. You got there, guys? I don't remember them dogpiling on him like that. Are they picking up on his sarcasm? Anyway, we know what we gotta do now. We're gonna get our equipment sorted out and then we move. You guys stay sharp out there. Beneath that prickly exterior, he really does care for us. Indeed. Perhaps a certain spring is rubbing off on him. We've got lives on the line here. Everything else can go on a back burner. Especially since it's the mob we're talking about here. Unfortunately, it's against guild regulations for B ranks and lower to operate alone. So gotta pair up. Don't get reckless out there. Loop back with the guild first. Got it? We're actively searching for Callaghan, but it looks like the CID is already on the move themselves. The fact they've shown up means this isn't your everyday incident. There's gotta be more to this. I hate entrusting things to them, but we're in no position to turn them down. Yeah, if the spooks come, then something's up, right? Today we finally meet with a Vern company to hammer out a big partnership. Cooperation of the academic community is one of Vern's founding principles, so we're pretty receptive to the idea. It's just, after the foundation got cut out, things have been a bit dicey. But I can't let that get to me. I'm gonna ace this. Just rehearse and execute. Okay, maybe execute is a bit much, but I get it done, one way or another. Gotta focus on bringing everybody together, but can I? Vern's offices were a real mess this morning. No, bad thoughts. Don't overthink it. Just go.
Very well.
It was bad enough trying to work through the network issues. It was driving our online reservation system haywire. We had double bookings, outages, random cancellations. It was a nightmare. We've never had to deal with anything like that before, and I hope we don't have to again. It's horrifically bad for ratings. Artisanal district.
Let's do this.
I just got back from a delivery to the Institute, but it sounds like something big went down by now. The heck did I miss? It was in a special research building, I heard. Average shows aren't even allowed in there. I don't want to be a thorn in their side while they're dealing with that. What's the delivery boy to do? Guess I just have to sit tight for now. Maybe get the supplies to someone in charge.
What to do?
I reported all this to the Edith one and brought Zin up to speed. They said they're gonna try looking into the Anchorville company for us too. I investigated them myself and a lot have been bringing this suspicious freight truck into the city lately. I'll have to look into that more. Could it be related to Almata's dealings with Professor Callaghan? We need to be proactive here, or we have another Farbot on our hands. Stay sharp, everyone. No one around. I had way too much to drink last night, but it was a decent chance to shoot the shit with the artisans at least. They're a lot more relatable than I first thought. They take a lot of pride in doing their job right, just like I do. I'm supposed to be the middleman between them and the higher-ups, but looking back, I've just been pushing the higher-ups' agenda onto them. Gotta start listening to their side of the story, you know? Maybe they can do their job better that way. Man, I sat down with my son last night, but we still couldn't really see eye to eye on things. I can't figure out kids worth a damn. Just wanna help him figure out what path he wants to take in life. The workshop will let him find what works for him. But I can never get that through to him. Maybe I'm just not good at explaining it. We're browsing the artisanal district at the moment. These workshops are quite impressive. Basel reminds me a lot of Zeiss. It's a factory city over in Libel. And all these engineering types remind me of a certain old fellow too. Huh? Who could that be? Oh, nobody. You've gotten yourself wrapped in yet more trouble, haven't you? Do be careful. That goes for all of you. We will, don't worry. If we need your help, we'll let you know. Okay, who's this chick anyway? Suspicious with a capital S. I'm glad we were able to chat with Giska while I was here. It would have been such a wasted opportunity otherwise. There's something else on my mind too. There's something worrying. But it could just be nothing, of course. I'll have to poke around a little, just in case. Yeah, I can see how this workshop ended up with a flag bearer of a whole artisan's guild. Each of the other workshops we've visited specialize in their own little niche instead of covering all the bases. It's all of them working together that makes Vern the powerhouse that it is, and the city along with it. Real big on tech, isn't he? Not. Yeah, he's always had an eye for these things. As a native of Basel, I'm happy to see people learn about what makes this place so nice.
Okay.
The Artisans District has this unique vibe to it. It's so unlike the rest of the city, it's really charming. I just wish there weren't so many stairs here. It's fine when you can use the arrow tram to get around, but when you can't, it's a nightmare. I get why, but still, could they not have built the city in the middle of a ravine? I imagine getting around town was even more difficult before cars and trams. Thank you so much for letting me come along on this delivery. Oh, whoa. Is that a top secret project over there? That's so cool. Easy, boy. You're like a big old puppy. Even the small stuff in this job is serious business, you know. We gotta make sure we do every step right. I just get nervous loading you in on a big project like that already. So, if I can stop making you nervous, you let me on? Just gotta get better, right? I guess that's not the wrong way to take what I said. Just start looking before you leap. You gotta stop charging blindly into things, bud. Voyage's optimism is probably his biggest strength. He always looks on the bright side of things. He just has a habit of rushing headfirst into everything. Makes for sloppy work sometimes. I wouldn't be so opposed to letting him work on his own if he could show me that he actually knows what he's doing. I'm really dying to take part in that project. I gotta hurry up and get smithing. The boss really doesn't like my work, though. I do kinda feel like I'm rushing things, but how can't I? He's always yelling in the background. It puts me on edge. Maybe there's a time or place that's nice and quiet. I'll try and make some stuff then. Thousand. If he wanted to do what's best for Vern, he'd grow a damn spine. No, he can't know about every little under-the-table deal those billion subsidiaries are doing. But still his job to keep everything above board. He's gotta stamp that crap out when he sees it. We at the Artisans Guild gonna try and crack down on Callaghan. If Thousand won't do it, we'll bring that blockhead down ourselves. We're starting with the supply chains. He might have stacked up in some abandoned warehouse somewhere. We're tracking his purchases too. I heard about what happened over at the Institute. It sounds like the Artisans Guild is helping out however they can. I'm really worried for Cutter though. And the Institute, we can't just let those goons take it over, or all of Professor Hamilton's work will go to waste. Riel let me come along like usual, but she said today she was scared to leave me alone at home. And everybody's kinda sad today for some reason. I wonder what happened. Some students from RMS came by to visit earlier. I wasn't able to tell them much, but I did give them a general overview of what we do here. They were smart cookies, but one of them was leaps and bounds above the others. Hard to believe she was just a student. Even the supervisor was impressed.
Now then. The goddess of the sky is
I heard that the professor from the Institute went missing. I can only pray that Aegis extends her guiding hand to them. I'm far from an expert on this city and its customs, but I believe the goddess's light shines bright here all the same. I will pray for the professor's safety today.
Indeed.
I've heard about Professor Callaghan's disappearance as well. We have asked the congregation to share any hints toward his whereabouts, but we haven't learned anything so far. I did also hear that he had been mistreating his assistants. I hoped it was only coincidence that his assistants looked exhausted whenever I would see them, but I was wrong, I see.
Okay.
Technology is really taking off, but it's always cause of violence when it leaps like that. The road to progress is paved in blood. Prosper last year was proof of that. Never seen anything like it in all my years. I heard Callaghan was working like a man possessed in the days before he went missing. I can only wonder what he was working on. There's just something about his disappearance that gives me deja vu. I got a real bad feeling.
Indeed.
And with Cutter, you can enter here. No, we can't go through here, and... What's up with you? Ugh, you're not slow there. I'm running all across town. Crazy to think that it's close to peak. Gilly says the online service is glitching out for some reason, so we're not getting as many delivery orders today. Just goes to show how many people are using it. Now that it's bugging out, the whole system's backed up. Alright, keep running, man. No one here.
The next appointment's at...
I've got a big meeting with a representative from Vern today. I really can't be bothered if I'm being honest. I agreed to the trip for pleasure first and business second. But I need to at least act like I care, or I can kiss any future business trips goodbye. I can't have that now, can I? I've gotta suck it up and nail this meeting. If for nothing else, for securing cushy trips like these in the future.
Gotta keep this up.
Then I'll update your rank.
I'll gladly take that.
Arts driver Nebulous. Those two siblings are like a whole routine in and of themselves. Never gets old watching them work the floor. The network issues here have messed up my itinerary today, so I'm just standing by here. But I'm not complaining, there's hardly a boring moment here with those two around. Some of our guests have been talking about this car landing some big new project. It's a common story nowadays. There's lots of demand for research now. And that's good for spirit and business both. I like to think we've been helping them along in our own way. And now we've got to step up our game with that project ramping up. I gotta eat. It makes me all the more glad I got my brother to develop that online ordering system. It's a real lifesaver.
Alrighty.
One of our guests was saying that our network issues have gotten even worse over the last day or so. Some people are just going off the grid altogether and staying offline until it all blows over. Ironically, our online ordering system is a bit more stable now. I guess there's less demand on the grid or something. Okay, it leaves only the Institute.
Time to depart.
A side quest here?
Let's see what we've got.
RX Research. Pardon me for making this request, and I know you're rather busy. We would like your help gathering materials to make a certain painkiller. I will explain the details in Esmeralda's lab. I wasn't expecting Essie to have a request for us. Oh really, she could have just told us in person. Guess she's just heard this is how we do things and roll with it. We have to go talk to her later. Agreed. It just doesn't feel real. The special research building was attacked, and now Professor Callaghan's been kidnapped? I don't think this affects our work with the Institute, but I'm still worried about him. Those criminals have their eyes on the Institute, and the rank and file researchers might get caught in the crossfire. I'm really gonna have to help Athena weather all this. I can't believe they attacked the Institute. I hope it doesn't throw revenge into my studies, but being realistic, it probably will. No, I have to prove myself to that. I want to hurry up and land some big project I can be proud of. This theory could greatly simplify the equations we are using. We have to test that out at the lab. Oh wait, no, I forgot it's a total mess right now. I have to wait until it's cleared up. I need to do the professor proud. I can't screw this up.
Alrighty.
I was freaking out when I saw that explosion last night. I thought my samples might have gotten damaged in there. They were fine, but then Professor Callaghan went missing after they hit the special research lab. That's even worse. He was the only one who really understood me. As a weapon designer, he appreciated the beauty of blowing things up. He was actually pretty excited about my proposal for a flamethrower weapon. Great minds think alike.
Indeed.
I haven't talked to you, right? I didn't want to believe it when the chief engineer and the other professors told me about it. It just didn't make sense to me. I can't help but wonder if we could have stopped this had someone noticed his behavior sooner. But, well, hindsight is 20/20. At any rate, I need to compile a document on the incident to send to the police in the guild.
Everybody's gotta eat, right?
I can't believe what happened to Professor Callaghan. First I hear those abuse allegations getting thrown around, which explains why all his students were so tired all the time. And now he's just gone. I can't imagine what it's like being one of his students right now. I wish I could do something about it, but I'll just have to keep putting hot meals on their plate and getting their spirits up. Man, I really screwed the pooch. Let an intruder blow right by me into the special research building. The investigation's still ongoing here, but I report whatever I find out here. Anything helps. I hear you're investigating this yourself, and I see Mr. Salesian is with you too. I don't see the harm in letting you guys in. Go on through. Not quite yet. people said they heard all kinds of weird sounds at the Institute last night. I think what I'm thinking? This place has been around since the Middle Ages. Those weird sounds can only mean one thing. Ghosts! It's haunted, isn't it? No, not what I've heard. There was an attack over at the Special Research Building last night. That's what that was. Did you seriously not hear about it? I swear, you have the keenest ear for gossip, but the actual stories fly right over your head. Wait, really? The building got attacked? That's the first that I've heard of it. Actually, now that you mention it, yeah, I think some of the professors might have talked about it. It's just in one ear and out the other with you, isn't it?
Alrighty.
Liz really needs to start acting like an adult. She goes to the Institute of Science for crying out loud. I'm glad that Professor Cronkite and Professor Esmery are okay at least. But Professor Callaghan disappearing is just... I can't even wrap my hand around it. Professor Tyne's been really worried about him, even before all this went down. I thought it was weird how everybody was whispering today. Now it makes sense. I had no idea about it. I overslept this morning. Last I heard was the gossip from last night. My heart sank when I heard Professor Callaghan went missing. I hope he's alright wherever he is. Where does he have a ton of computers in his lab running parallel processing? On what, I don't know. But that all got stolen, which means whatever research he was doing caught the criminal's attention. It does shed some light on what he'd been doing this whole time, for better or worse.
Theoretically speaking.
Well...
Yesterday's meeting was a wash, but my hollow research is still moving along at least. Maybe Coolidge is right? Should I try having more faith in myself? I don't know. I felt sick to my stomach when I heard the news. I can only hope they found him safe. He used to be such a kind and compassionate man. What happened to him? What drove him to abuse his students like that? I hope he comes back safe, and I hope I get to sit down with him and find out why he's done all this. The hell did Sasha run off to? She's always telling me not to go off on my own, but I guess she doesn't have to follow her own rules. I ain't cut out of this tour guide crap. Why'd she dump it all on me? I can't believe I attacked the Special Research Building. It sounds like it wasn't the work of that first intruder last night either. Thankfully our archives were left intact, but that's about all the good news. A professor disappearing is awful indeed. I hear it was Professor Callaghan too. He used to have a real appetite for the books here. I would see him every day in the library, but he started spending less and less time here and more holed up in his lab poring over his computers.
Very well.
Yeah, there was a bit of trouble over at the Institute. Looks like a CID's on the ground too, so I was wondering if you'd heard anything. Oh, come on, you can't do one little favor to help some frightened school children? Who's she talking to? Hard to say, can't deny I'm curious, but we got bigger fish to fry now. I've gone over it with the student council president, but I'm still really unnerved about it. Come on, won't you help out some worried school children, please? Good. I wanted to take another look at the crime scene just to see if there were any leads about Professor Callaghan. There's just something strange about how disheveled the room was. It's like a tornado blow through or something. Some of the damage implied they used slashing weapons over blunt force. I think we can rule out that man from Langport. I dread to imagine running into whoever wrought that much damage, especially if they came from the gardens. Okay, but I think I end the episode here and we actually look into the quests next time. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.